person today and on Zoom. This is our biggest, largest, most attended meeting in the past 2 years, and it's fantastic. Not only to see so many in person, but so many people wearing green, so good job on St. Patrick's Day. All right, we've got a great program today. Michelle Harris with Harris Hospitality is going to update us on everything that they have going on. We'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll have a reflection from Darlene Collet, student guest from Orchard View, and we'll do our four-way test at the end of the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, you may be seated. Darlene. Very St. Patrick's-y.
Well, if you haven't figured out from my attire, I am of Irish descent. My grandparents migrated here through Canada and settled on a farm in Portland, Michigan, where my father and one of his other of 8 siblings was born. So I share with you then today none other than an Irish proverb. Maybe you always have walls for the winds, a roof for the rain, tea beside the fire, laughter to cheer you, those that you love near you, and all your heart might desire. May joy and peace surround you, contentment latch your door, and happiness be with you now and bless you evermore.
Very good. All right. Enjoy lunch, and we'll be back in a few minutes with our visiting Rotarians and student guests. We'll introduce you to the club guests. You don't have to say anything. Don't worry. Your Rotarian will do all the talking. And then, Marty, if you want to come up with the student guests as well. All right. I have Olivia Sharmer here. She is a daughter of Michelle Harris and Fred Sharmer, and she's visiting today. She's got a day off or done with school at Muskegon Catholic Central. Freshman basketball player. Anything else? That's pretty much it. We'll say hi to Olivia, everyone.
Hi, Meredith Smiley again, and my guest today is my husband, Trent.
We're looking to go right in there.
Okay. Morning, I'm Tim Lipan. This is my guest today is my wife, Lynette. She recently retired after she sold her company, the Noble Company. She serves on the board of the Women's Division of Chamber of Commerce and Fresh Coast Alliance, and we both appreciate the Harris's commitment to Muskegon and love what they do and wanted to get an update. Lynette.
Thank you. Here, come on over just a second. Hello, Rotary. Get ready to cheer so loud that you wake up the people on the 3rd floor, because we've got guests from Orchard View. To introduce 2 of the seniors is Samantha Wilson. She is the principal at the high school.
Good afternoon. While I have a second with the microphone, I'm just going to take a chance to say, right now at Orchard View High School, we are hosting a first robotics competition. We have 40 teams from all over the state competing tomorrow and Saturday. So if you have nothing to do, even though the weather's great and you want to be outside, if you'd like to be inside, there's lots going on till about 7 p.m. tomorrow night, and then again 8 a.m. to about 6 p.m. on Saturday. We're hoping for it to be a great event. We don't currently have our own robotics team, so we're hoping this will spark some interest for our own team at Orchard View High School. With me today, I have the top 2 seniors of the Orchard View class of 2022. We do not do a salutatorian or a valedictorian. We look at not only their GPA, but also their SAT score, and then we use a calculation there to determine our senior scholars. So I have with me Danielle Blanchard, who is our #1 senior scholar, and #2, Dalen Rogers, and I'm going to let them tell you about themselves.
Okay. Hi, I'm Danielle. I can't do it.
I'll let her think for a minute, and then I'll go to Dalen and let him try this. We talked in the car about how when they're writing an essay for scholarships, it's very easy to talk about yourself and brag a little bit, but when you get stuck with the microphone and you're trying to talk about yourself, it can be hard. So we'll give Dalen a try.
My name is Dalen. I am number 2 in the class at OV. I am an NHS member. I am a varsity soccer player, a varsity quiz bowl player. I am very involved with community work. I have gone on multiple mission trips down to Georgia, up to Schoharie, New York, to work with kids. Kind of a little nervous for May, June, July, August time because that's when college starts. I'm getting ready to go tomorrow to go make my commitment fee to Western Michigan University to become a Bronco and study for computer engineering.
I'm just going to copy his format a little bit. I am in NHS, National Honor Society. I am a member of the Interact Club. We do a bunch of different volunteer events for our community and in our school. Today we colored bookmarks for March's Reading Month for the elementary, so that was pretty fun. I am in jazz band, and show choir. Next week we have our big review show, and last night I performed at the West Michigan Student Showcase. I performed an original song called Naive Sunrise, and that was pretty big for me. It was really fun. And you can see me at, it's on YouTube, Naive Sunrise, you want to look it up? And you can see me at Muskegon Street Performers event and the Lakeshore Art Festival. I'm usually there. Muskegon Street Performers this year is once each month this summer, so that's pretty exciting. And this fall, I will be attending Grand Valley State University to study psychology.
Well, I have 2 Lakers and my wife is a Bronco, so I think you guys made some great decisions there. Okay, on to our program. It's my pleasure to introduce Michelle Harris. Michelle Harris was born and raised in Muskegon. She has 2 children, Olivia and Harrison. She's married to Fred Sharmer, and together they own Pints and Courts, The Deck, and Harris Hospitality. I've had the opportunity to work with Michelle for about 10 years now, and I can say that everything that the Harrises do is first class. So I'm very excited to have her give an update to the club today. Everyone give a warm Rotary welcome to Michelle Harris.
Hello. As Jason mentioned, I am Michelle Harris, and along with my husband, Fred Sharmer, we are owners of Harris Hospitality. We own and operate Pints and Courts, Harris Catering, and The Deck. I just want to say thank you to Jason and all of you for being here today, and for Jason for asking me to speak. I was hoping to keep things short, but Jason asked for 15 minutes, so we'll just brace ourselves here for a little bit. It's hard to believe, but we started the business 19 years ago. Time flies. I'm often asked, how do we wind up in the restaurant business, which is usually followed by, that seems like such a cool but difficult job. And I usually reply with, I think some things in life you're just meant to do. And for us, that was the restaurant business. It is incredibly difficult. There's never a dull moment, but it's our passion and we just love what we do. So long story short, I think we're insane. Fred has always wanted to own or operate a restaurant in some form of capacity, as long as I can remember. We attended Michigan State University, and he was in the business finance program. I also went to Michigan State, but at the time was more interested in being a dietitian. While attending MSU, we got a really fast crash course in real life. School, books, rent, utilities, all that. And so we, shortly after, got a job. He worked for the Marriott Corporation, and I started serving tables. Shortly after that, we were hooked and completely fell in love with the restaurant business. During college, we would often meet up after our long shifts and discuss our days at work. There was a common problem that we always discussed. It happened to be the inconsistencies in our kitchens. Depending on the day, if things did not run right, we made a lot less tips, which was the bulk of our income. We discussed this so often that Fred had come up with a solution. He said, you know what, you have a little bit more time than I do when I graduate. Let's just pick the best culinary school. I'll knock that out quickly, so if we ever own a restaurant, I can fix these problems with any issues that arise. And while I thought to myself at the time, I was like, I think that's a bit much. I don't think we need to really focus on owning a restaurant, fixing kitchens when we don't even own a restaurant yet. Well, that year flew by, and before I knew it, Fred graduated, and we were off to Providence, Rhode Island, to attend Johnson & Wales University. He went for culinary school, and I went for restaurant business management. After a few years of additional schooling, an opportunity came about to open a restaurant in our hometown. We were apprehensive at first as we enjoyed the area that we were living in. We did, however, plan to eventually settle in close to family and friends, so we decided to give it a go. We opened up our first restaurant, Pints and Quarts, and it was beyond tough. Let's just say school is a great foundation, but it for sure doesn't help much with the world of entrepreneurship. The early years were full of 80-plus hour weeks, many nights sleeping in the office, learning how to operate our own business. That just happened to be one of the world's most difficult, a restaurant. We took the good with the bad, and we learned more in those early first few years than we had ever learned in our entire years at college. Pints and Quarts has evolved and changed over the years into one of the most profitable businesses that we have. It's just one of those places that have become a regular visit for many local families. And we appreciate all of you here today who support us after all of these years. In 2014, we decided to present our requests for the proposal that the city had advertised for the old Captain Jack's location down at Pier Marquette. It was a long process. However, the city decided in the end that we were the right fit to take on the development. The building had been in terrible shape, and the bulk of the budget that we had was needed to just bring the building up to code. If I had $1 for every time someone said, "What are you thinking? That place is never going to make it," I would not likely be here right now. I'd be enjoying a margarita on the beach in Florida. I asked Fred to read the speech for me to see what he thought, and he said, if we actually now had $1 for every one of those same people that said that the city gave us the best property in town, you sure are lucky. We would probably be living in Costa Rica, my dream. The deck had a slow start. It was a nice addition into the area, and the business was growing each year for the first 3 to 4 years, but it just wasn't what it is today. Fred and I were talking after work one day, and he said, "Why do you think sales are increasing but not at a faster rate?" We spent the last month of that summer analyzing every little detail. We had decided that most popular time at the deck was Saturday evening when it was 80 degrees outside. We started to track how many tables had been waiting, how many of them actually decided to wait. The percentage of people not waiting was enough to make any business owner sick to their stomach. The problem we had was many people were coming, and while waiting, they eventually decided to go somewhere else. So we decided the only way to get the ball rolling was to really dive in big time, to put some serious planning behind gaining some more space and turning tables faster. Many people asked at first, "What's the reason for the space? Do you really think people will come?" We were nervous that we had made this investment and it's not going to pay off. Worse, it's going to be a large space that's empty, and that's even worse. What we felt the problem is that you had to drive a little bit of a ways to get to the deck. Then you had to wait a long time to wait for a table at the deck. And when you waited, there was nothing for you to do. We only had one small bar whose main purpose was serving guests in our dining area. People waiting could barely get a drink. We said we needed to have multiple things for all ages to do while they waited, and they have to be able to get a drink. We started to work on some plans back in 2019 for an expansion to the deck. Believe it or not, the city had denied some of our ideas. The city of Muskegon has always been amazing to work with, but not every idea we had they thought would be a right fit. So we rolled up our sleeves and working long and hard with the city to come up with what you see today. In 2020, we opened up with the expansion that had brought our original seating capacity from 280 to 520. It was truly great. We had more than doubled our sales from the previous year and found that by midsummer, the problem of having not enough space was a bigger problem now more than ever. People are coming from much farther away. It wasn't uncommon to have guests from Grand Rapids, but now that has become a regular occurrence. So this led Fred and I once again to discuss another expansion at the city. We received an anonymous vote from our commission and we moved forward. This time around, we sure got used to having the extra thick skin. The 2021 expansion got a lot of negative publicity during this early stages of construction due to the materials we had selected and the look of it. We spent most of spring helping with our construction team, but often wondered if you think we are going to be slower because people are upset. Well, I never really believed it until we opened, but negative publicity is sure better than none at all. We opened up and business was crazier than we could have ever imagined in 2021. The season was more than double 2020. I called Fred more than once and said, Fred, I have no clue how to handle all these people. You better promise me that you're going to fix this. Jenny knows. Fred is a big systems guy and focuses on efficiencies. He's obsessed. He said, listen, I know what we need. I said, well, great, let's get down here and let's start it. The phone just went silent. He goes, Michelle, you're just going to have to get through the summer. I promise I will make things right in 2022. I would be lying if I wasn't thinking, how are we going to get through this? 2021 was met with large amounts of growing pains. Our first step was to close Pints and Courts for the rest of the summer and merge our teams together to conquer the rest of the season. Finding help during COVID at this time was still tricky, and our staff was just burnt out. This ended up being the best decision we made and one we will continue to do. It has taken a long time, but we have built an amazing team that really shares our vision. Without them, we would not be where we are. They take our ideas, run with them to make them better than Fred and I could ever do ourselves. They're the most important thing for this company, and without them, we are not a successful company. So they were our #1 priority. Once again, we sat down after our 2022 season and came up with a plan. We are yet again deep into our largest investment at the deck to date. Now let's not start any unneeded rumors, folks. We are working within the building this year on a complete equipment and utility overhaul. The building that we brought up to code 7 years ago was unable to handle the volume we did in 2021. We had to build another dish machine, which I'm most excited for, and so is Jenny, a to-go kitchen, and upgrade all of our electrical and plumbing to handle the madness. We as well are installing a 4,000 square foot pergola system that would allow us to seat 300 guests in the rain, and it will have permanent commercial heaters for the colder Muskegon nights. So gone are the days where you don't come to the deck when it's raining, because there'll be plenty of space for you. The deck has truly become a business we never imagined could ever exist 19 years ago when we started, much less 8 years ago when we took over Captain Jack's. The deck employed 264 people in 2021 who helped us serve well over 300,000 guests. We are looking to fill 310 positions for the 2022 season. So if you know anybody or any of your kids want jobs, just send them my way. As far as staffing during COVID, it was tough, a couple years. We were able to keep our upper management employed. Our team put together a good to-go program, which helped us immensely. We were busy enough to also bring in a few more staff members. We made sure that everyone who worked for us was able to get assistance during those times. And those that could not, we made sure that they were taken care of. We worked too hard over the years to have our team fall apart. That just was not an option. Our team is how we operate successfully, and that was our biggest concern. We are finally seeing a bit of normalcy with staffing. We haven't really had to hire much at Pints since December. I also have been getting a lot of applications for summer employment, so this is reassuring. Everything else in the restaurant business is not normal. Food costs, equipment costs, disposable costs, you name it, it's up. And I'm sure all of you sitting in this room understand that as well. We just have to keep grinding away every day, and hopefully there is light at the end of the tunnel. We were born and raised in Muskegon and unbelievably proud of what our city has become over the years. We are excited that the deck is part of this incredible business community. And I want to thank all of you here today for that support for us and have supported us through the years. So I know Michigan's playing, so I'll keep this quick, and it's St. Patty's Day. Does anybody have any questions?
I have to tell you that my experience with the deck is just short of absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Showed up there for a birthday party, 30 people, and as most folks know, they cater to a little younger demographic. So when I saw the sea of happy faces, for as far as I could view, all full of tables, people enjoying, having a great time, I thought I better order 3 beers at a time. Because we're never... this is a long way of saying my suspicion is you put a lot of work into training your staff because they just did an incredible job. The food was out on time. It was
Thank
the
you.
bills were right, even though we all had separate bills, and it was incredible.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You got a winner there.
Thank you.
My name is Claire, and I run the pop-in programs for Muskegon Public Schools, and I just want to thank you for hiring Ubinal Rodriguez to do the murals on the shipping containers at the deck. I think it's an amazing improvement to your space, and I can't say how much we who work with the youth in our county and in our community are thankful when business owners collaborate with those who are up and coming. It's been a great boost to his career. So thank you.
Yeah, Ube worked for us a long time ago while he was going to school at Kendall and all this, and he is just, he's phenomenal, and he's so talented, and he's the nicest kid, so he's just great. We love him.
Okay, this is going to ramble a little bit, but I
Who gave Skolnick the mic?
but I have to do this. Just so people know, I'm just going to start with a very short historical fact that I learned last night. I had dinner last night with another couple, and her name was Joyce Thornberry Gillette, and her dad was Bill Thornberry, who actually, where the deck is now, I didn't know this, was a pavilion, and he was the one who converted it into a restaurant. He had a restaurant there called the Breakwater, which failed, as did all the other restaurants, until this miracle by the Harrises, or like Jen or Michelle and Fred. But it's just, it reminded me of when I started in Muskegon and took over a failed territory and turned it into one of the top ones in the whole country. And it's really the people doing the work that's really important. But a couple of other things. One is, I think most of you know that I've hosted the Boys and Girls Club annual gala at my house for the last 5 years. This will be the last year at my house. It's May 14th. It's a great event. Harris Catering has done that every year. Last year, we had about more than 300 people there. And the food, as always, was terrific. And they never sent us a bill for any of it. And it's like, and that is, we did not expect that. And that bill probably was $30,000, and I'm not sure. But no, I mean, it's like just a little part of what they do to give back to the community. We're not the only ones. They do other things. Which is fantastic. Jenny, who I call my best BFF, whatever that means, her BFF is Michelle. And one day Jenny says, you have to talk to Michelle and write a Facebook story about her. And so we went to Finn's for dinner. And of course, she wanted to pay. I didn't let her, but we spent a couple hours together, and some of the things I learned were amazing. 264 people. Do you know how hard it is to run a business with 264 employees? It's crazy. How they do that, I don't know, but really, for me, and I think from
I'm going to speak on behalf of the Rotary Club. We very much appreciate what you've done in Muskegon, and I'm sorry you're getting some of the public crap you're getting,
That's
but
okay.
it's just anybody who's successful has to take that. So that's the way it is. So anyway, thank you.
I appreciate that.
For Michelle to stand up and say what she did, I know was difficult. She is one of the most humble people I have ever met in my life, and am so lucky to be friends with her. I ran a breakfast restaurant for 15 years, and then I was done, and never again. I do real estate now, but I'm blessed to be able to manage with Michelle the deck in the summer. One of the things that I think is the most incredible is she has more patience than anyone I have ever met. We have a lot of 14 and 15 and 16. And any of you who have been around kids know that that can be a lot of fun. And when it's super busy and I'm starting to lose a little cool and they're in the kitchen and they're dancing to TikTok and doing these moves and the food needs to go out and I can just feel it in my neck and she'll say, our job is to prepare them for the workforce. Our job is to have patience and help them understand what their job is every day. I never see her lose her cool. How? I don't know. She is so supportive. Her staff adores her. All of them, they absolutely love her so much. And people probably know that I'm very protective of my family, but there's two people that I am super protective of. One is here, and one is there. And those are the two that make me be keyboard warrior, as my husband calls it. This woman has dealt with some of the most horrific things over the last couple years. So much hate. And I said to him, I'm like all emotional because she stands there tall. She never responds. She never says anything negative about people. She never gets in other people's business. She puts her head down, she pushes forward, and she is about Muskegon and the community. And they give, and they give, and they give, and they give, but they don't need anyone to know it because they feel that they've been so blessed. So thank you on behalf of me for supporting Fred and Michelle, who are two of the most incredible entrepreneurs I have ever been introduced to. And so come out and see us this year. We're gonna have some better systems in place.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Michelle. We appreciate you coming out. And if you're ever at the Decker Pints, you will see Michelle there on the floor. First, for presenting today, our club's going to make a donation to community economic development on your behalf. And once again, let's have another round of applause for Michelle. Let's give Bob a round of applause, too, for our second program. All right, there aren't any more mics floating around in the crowd, are there? Okay. Very well said, everybody. Okay, on to our birthdays. We have Kathy Brubaker-Clark on the 19th, Jane Mountain on the 19th, Tim Lipan here on the 20th, and Steve Edwards on the 21st. So let's sing happy birthday, and Kathy and Tim, you guys can bring up your $10 for our Caring Connection program. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Oh, I saw you. Happy birthday to. Oh, I didn't see you, Jane. Jane, too. Happy birthday, everyone. Okay, on to our member spotlight. And in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we thought it would be great to feature one of our most proud Irish members, none other than Kevin Donovan. So let's hear from Kevin.
Well, I'm Kevin Donovan, as most of you know, and I joined Rotary in 2006, which was when the reins of Muskegon construction were handed over to me. And as such, I needed to be a part of Rotary. I'm married to wife Suzanne for 40-some years, 3 adult children, 2 boys and a girl, 4 grandchildren with another on the way. I enjoy playing the guitar, participate in praise and worship group. I work for John Gray's Construction. John Gray's purchased Port City Construction. John Gray's is a restoration company primarily who deals with insurance work. They specialize in insurance work. So we take care of anything from an overflow toilet to a total fire loss and anything in between. So we come in, we mitigate the immediate problem, we remove any damaged material, and we put it all back together for you. Tagline, restoring lives. I'm a carpenter by trade. I've been in the construction business for over 4 decades now. Commercial arena, and always held the belief that we can do good work in the public sector and be good stewards of the public's tax dollars, and always worked hard to promote local participation so that those tax dollars stayed in the community.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. Nice to hear from you. Jenny Sprague and Meredith Smiley, if you want to make your way up, I have a couple announcements. While they're coming up, I was passed along an announcement from Lisa Metzdorf. She reminded me, I was in on the email, so I did get it, that Kim sent out an email about updating our committee rosters. So committee chairs, council chairs, please complete those updates by the end of the month. Kim has some nice instructions on how to do it in Club Runner, and if you get stuck, she can help you out. So, but Ginny.
Thank you, President Jason. Thank you, too, to all 32 of you brave Rotarians out there. We really appreciate your support of the Rotary Foundation and this contest. Now, we've had most people have paid, but just a gentle reminder, if you have not yet paid your $100, we take cash, of course, check, made out to the Muskegon Rotary Foundation, or you could pay with credit card by seeing Kathy Betts, who's right over there. And the other question that I get is, who's 19? Okay, today is the first day of the round of, count it, 64. Tomorrow is the second day. Saturday, check your email, you'll find out who your team is. And some of you who go out in the right away in that round, my apologies, that's how it works. But enjoy the games and go blue.
All right, this is your final reminder for Grape Escape preview at courses. We'll have about 8 or 9 seats available for our 5 o'clock seating, as well as about 24 seats available for 7 o'clock. So you can see Kathy Betts today. She'll take your credit card, or you can go through Eventbrite. But let's fill this up. The menu looks amazing, and it's just going to be a wonderful time of fellowship, and 100% of the proceeds go to Rotary, and that means we can do more in our community if you show up for dinner.
Thanks, Meredith. And a few of you have mentioned that you can't go to the Grape Escape preview, but you still can help our club. There's a series of social posts coming out, so you can like those posts, you can share those posts, and you can comment on them and pass them along to your friends. You can also share the event with people so they know all about it. Let's see what we can do to pack the house there at courses next Thursday. I have another announcement from Aslan Scott passed along to me that the Muskegon Heights Police Department GUNS, which is Gaining Unity Through Nonviolent Solutions, and the Lake Hawks Foundation is in the middle of a major fundraiser at 8th Street Park in Muskegon Heights, and the group is looking for donations to finish off the project. So far, over $64,000 has been raised, $14,000 through a grant from the Community Foundation, another $6,000 through a federal community policing grant and another $20,000 through a combination of other grants. For more information, you can contact Pam Smith or Janet Robinson, and this information will be in the rim as well if you'd like to support the new park. And then also, our last announcements is Rewind is meeting tonight at Walker's, which is here at the Delta. Okay, that brings us to our raffle. Raffle today is Eric Seaford. Did you win? Did you really? Oh, we could say you did. $595. All right. Marcia Hovey Wright. She's writing a check too. $20. What do we got next? $10. Oh, Jay Griffith. Okay, last for $5. $610. No one wants to claim the $5? Did you put the tickets in the bucket that people bought? $585. Oh. That's convenient. All right, that brings us to the conclusion of our meeting. I want to thank Michelle, Olivia, Jenny, Trent, Lynette, Samantha, Danielle, Dalen for joining us today. Apparently there's a basketball game that's happening soon, so I'm happy to report that our meeting is adjourned. Next week, program will be from two of our own. Emma Peterson and Josh Silvis will be talking about our new Pores for Polio fundraiser that is happening. So you want to come out and check that out. If everyone could please rise for the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? All right. Go blue, go green, and all those other colors.